Death toll in Myanmar's earthquake exceeds 2,700 lives. 21 killed in firecracker factory explosion in India. Good afternoon and Salam Malaysia Madani. I'm Shuhaida Arifin and you're watching World Today. Julia Rees of the United Nations Children's Agency UNICEF, who just returned from one of the worst affected areas near the epicenter in central Myanmar, said entire communities had been flattened and destruction and psychological trauma was immense. She added hospitals were overwhelmed and rescue efforts hindered by infrastructure damage and the civil war. Rebels have accused the military of conducting airstrikes even after the quake, and on Tuesday, a major rebel alliance declared a unilateral ceasefire to help relief efforts. 8 groups raised the alarm on Tuesday over a lack of food, water and sanitation, and the region was hit by 5 more aftershocks.
The window for life-saving response is closing, and across the affected areas, families are facing acute shortages of clean water, food and medical supplies.
Thank you very much for this briefing.
The UN Humanitarian Agency said in the Mandalay area, 50 children and 2 teachers were killed when their preschool collapsed. Myanmar's civil war has complicated efforts to reach those injured and made homelessness, including tight controls over the internet and other communication networks. Myanmar's military leader Min Aung Hlaing said on Tuesday the death toll from an earthquake that hit Myanmar has reached 2,719 and is expected to rise to more than 3,000. He made the announcement at a ceremony in Naypyidaw seeking donations for the quake victims and added that 4,521 people were injured while 441 were still missing.
ကျွန်တော်ရှိနောက်ဆုံးတင်တဲ့စင်းထိပေါ့ဒီနေ့မနေ့8 နာရီထိပေါ့ရတဲ့စင်းမှာပြည်내တိုင်းဒေသအားလုံးမှာ2009နဲ့19ရောက်တည်ပါတယ်2900နဲ့19ရောက်တည်ပါတယ်4521ရောက်တန်ရာရပါတယ်441ရောက်ပျောက်ဆုံးကြောင်းသတင်းပို့ထားပါတယ်ပျောက်ဆုံးကြောင်းသတင်းပို့တဲ့လူတွေကတော့ဟိုတည်ဖို့ဆုံးဖို့တော့တော်တော်များပါတယ်အခုလည်းကျွန်တော်တို့82နာရီကြော်လာပြီဖြစ်တဲ့အတွက်ကြောင့်တိတော်မလို့တော့ဘူး
Min Aung Hlaing stressed that there was a narrow chance the missing would be found alive in the remarks broadcast on state television. He also criticized the engineering and construction of some of the buildings damaged in the quake.
လိုက်ကြည့်တဲ့အခါမှာတချို့ဟာတွေကဒီ engineer ဘိုင်းဆိုင်စင်ကုန်မှုတွေကျွန်တော်တွေ့ပါတယ် engineer ဘိုင်းဆိုင်ရတယ် engineer ဘိုင်းဆိုင်ဆိုတာသူကတော့ဟလာပေါ်ပေါ်တန်တန်နဲ့ပေါ့ဗျာအဲ့ဒါဖြစ်ပါတယ်ဆိုပြီးတော့စောက်တာလည်းရှိပါတယ်တချို့ကလည်း Google ကြီးချက်တက်တာအောင်ဆိုပြီးတော့လွယ်လွယ်ကူကူစောက်တာလေဟိုတိုက်ကိုကျွန်တော်ပြောတာပါဟိုကျန်တဲ့တက်တာအိမ်တော့ကျွန်တော်မဆိုလိုပါဘူးဒီတိုက်လေးစောက်တဲ့အခါမှာဒါလေးထည့်မစင်စားမဲနဲ့ငလင်ကိုထည့်မစင်စားမဲနဲ့ဟလာပေါ့ပေါ့တန်တန်ပဲဟလာနေလို့ရတယ်ပြုတ်လို့ရတယ်ဆိုပြီးလုပ်တဲ့အခါမှာတကယ်လည်းဖြစ်ရောဟလာပေးဆံမှုပေးရအများကြီးပေးခဲ့
The 7.7 magnitude quake, which hit around lunchtime on Friday, was the strongest to hit the Southeast Asian country in more than a century, toppling ancient pagodas and modern buildings alike. Palestinians in Gaza reported on Tuesday that they were finding it difficult to secure bread as several bakeries were unable to fulfill demand due to shortages of flour, fuel and other essential supplies. One bakery was seen empty after having ceased operations in Gaza City. Director of the Bakeries Association in Gaza, Abdul Nasir Al-Ajrami, stated that they received notification from the World Food Programme (WFP) regarding the cessation of the program. This decision is attributed to various factors, including the closure of border crossing and insufficient stock.
الناس اعتمدت اعتماد كلي في مدينة غزة وقطاع غزة بالأحرى في السنة الأخيرة على المخابز لعدة أسباب، لأنه لا يوجد طاقة بديلة عن المخبز. اليوم كل الكهرباء مقطوعة والغاز مقطوع، ما فيش إمكانية إنه يصنع الخبز في بيته، يعني صعب الأمور جدا على المواطن، فاعتمد اعتماد كلي على المخابز. واليوم المخابز يعني أعلنت يعني عجز عن تلبية احتياجات المواطن، فيكون المواطن في وضع
The World Food Programme currently supports bakeries to produce bread, kitchen cooking, hot meals and the distribution of food parcels directly to families. According to the World Food Programme, the food supplies they currently possess in Gaza are only sufficient to sustain operations for a maximum of 2 weeks. Israel's suspension of goods entering Gaza is taking a toll on the Palestinian enclave, with some bakeries closing and food prices rising, while a cut in the electricity supply could deprive people of clean water. Thailand Prime Minister Paetongtarn Shinawatra has directed the relevant ministries to investigate the collapse of the State Audit Office SAO building after a powerful 7.7 magnitude earthquake in Myanmar sent tremors through the Thailand last Friday. Paetongtarn cautioned that the collapse of even one building can tarnish the nation's reputation, emphasizing that Thailand must be prepared to clarify the events that occurred to the international community. She told after chairing the cabinet meeting at Government House on Tuesday. She said before the cabinet session began on Tuesday, ministers discussed the collapse of the office of the Auditor General's building, including the cause of the incident and proposals from various ministries. She added that each ministry has been assigned to assess the situation and proceed accordingly to ensure a swift fact-finding process. The Prime Minister also urged authorities not to focus solely on the nationality of the construction company, but to investigate all projects undertaken by the firm. She confirmed that the collapsed building was a joint project between Thailand and Chinese companies. The Constitutional Court of South Korea is set to announce its ruling on the prosecution of President Yoon Suk-yeol this Friday. This decision will determine whether the currently suspended leader will lose his position or be reinstated. The verdict will be delivered from the court and live broadcast will be allowed, along with attendance by the public. Yoon was impeached by the National Assembly on the charges of violating the Constitution and laws through his brief imposition of martial law on 3rd December. During the trial, Yoon was accused of sending troops to the National Assembly to stop lawmakers from voting down the decree during the 6 hours it was in force and ordering the arrest of prominent politicians, among other charges. According to the report, if the impeachment motion is upheld, Yoon will be removed from the office. If it is dismissed, he will be reinstated to serve out the remainder of his term through May 2027. At least 21 were killed in an explosion at firecracker factory in India on Tuesday. According to senior police official, the primary cause is the failure of a slab resulting from the explosion. Although 5 workers have been saved from the explosion area, it is feared that numerous others remain trapped beneath the rubble. A number of injured people were taken to the hospital. The incident happened in an industrial area near Disa town, about 150 kilometers from the state capital, Gandhinagar. Top district government official May Patel said that the explosions were so powerful that body parts of some victims were found scattered in a farm 300 meters away. Patel said the families of the victims lived on the factory premises, which was operating without a license. A similar incident occurred on 31st March after an explosion at a firecracker warehouse in West Bengal killed at least 6 people. Industrial accidents, common in India, are often blamed on people flouting safety norms as well as lax inspection by government officials. A fishing village in southwest Iceland was evacuated on Tuesday after lava began spewing from a volcanic eruption, the 8th to hit the region since the end of 2023. The Icelandic Meteorological Office, IMO, said initially reports indicated that the eruptive fissures extended about 700 meters, reporting hours later that it extended about 1,200 meters. Around 11 a.m. local time, the agency said that a new eruptive fissure has opened a few hundred meters inside the protective barriers north of Grindavik. The IMO warned earlier that an eruption could be imminent as an earthquake swarm began in the early morning in a similar fashion to previous eruptions. Broadcaster RUV reported that authorities had evacuated Grindavik, though 8 residents had decided to remain. The region's police commissioner, Ulfa Ludvigsen, said that the authority did not intend to force people to leave and that those who had opted to remain were well acquainted with the escape routes. An eruption hit the area as recently as November, which in turn was the 7th eruption in a year. Most of Grindavik's 4,000 residents were evacuated in late 2023, shortly before the first volcanic eruption in the area. Since then, almost all the houses have been sold to the state, and most of the residents departed. Volcanoes on the peninsula had not erupted for 8 centuries until March 2021, when a period of a heightened seismic activity began. Iceland is home to 33 active volcanic systems, more than any other European country. World Bank allocates $2 billion to Paraguay. Stay tuned.
Hai, bersama-sama kami Awatar AI Berita RTM, saya Aaron Lim.
Dan saya Cik Rita. Musim perayaan ini kami ada sedikit pesanan.
Sebelum keluar dari rumah, pastikan pintu dan tingkap dikunci. Jangan lupa tutup suis dan paip air juga.
Periksa kenderaan dulu sebelum memulakan perjalanan.
Rancang perjalanan dan sentiasa berhati-hati ketika memandu. Pakai tali pinggang keledar dan elakkan penggunaan telefon bimbit.
Kalau rasa penat atau mengantuk, rehat sekejap di R&R yang disediakan. Atau berhenti di tempat yang selamat.
Pantau juga anak-anak kecil ketika berhari raya. Adik-adik, jangan main mercun. Bahaya.
Hari raya memanglah makanan sedap-sedap. Tapi makan kena beringat juga. Kurangkan makanan berlemak dan bergula.
Akhir sekali, pada hari raya ini, hargai setiap detik bersama yang tersayang.
Pesanan ikhlas daripada kami di RTM, teman setia anda. Selamat Hari Raya Aidilfitri. Maaf zahir dan batin. Syukuri Syawal.
Syukuri Syawal.
Taiwan scrambled fighter jets to monitor China's joint army, navy and rocket force exercises around Taiwan on Tuesday as Beijing called their drills a stern warning against separatism. Taiwan's defense ministry said in a statement that China's Shandong aircraft carrier group had entered the island's response area on Monday, adding that it had dispatched military aircraft and ships and activated land-based missile systems in response. However, it had not detected any live fire by the Chinese military, but that at least 71 Chinese military aircraft and 13 Navy ships were involved.
那立即备案操演就是以常备部队的战备兵力，初期是以常态的状态以战备部队的兵力来应处。那后续会依照威胁的提升或是敌可能行动的变化来决定是否在提高等级进入加强戒备的阶段。
这样的举动并不是因为任何个人或者是任何政党，我们认为他做这样的举动最主要原因就是对于自由民主制度的一个不同意的一个看法，他对于以武力去解决不同的意见的这样子的一个偏执，以及作为一个集权国家，他相信拳头大就是力量，就是公理这样子的一个偏颇的一个看法。
An official in the ministry closely monitoring the drill said Taiwan's armed forces had elevated their readiness level to ensure that China does not turn drills into combat. China's military deployed ships, aircraft and artillery to practice blockading the island, strikes on ground and maritime targets, and air interception to test forces coordination in combat. The Chinese military announced new exercises on Wednesday in sensitive waters near Taiwan, a day after Beijing launched drills to surround the self-ruled island it claims as its own. Spokesman of a Chinese military's Eastern Theater Command, Senior Colonel Shi Yi said in a statement, the exercises in the crucial Taiwan Strait waterway aim to test the troops' capabilities in areas such as blockade and control and precision strikes on key targets. The drills are located in the middle and southern parts of the strait, which is a vital artery for global shipping. The latest exercises come a day after China sends its army, navy and air rocket forces to surround Taiwan, prompting Taipei to dispatch its own forces. Beijing has increased the deployment of fighter jets and naval vessels around Taiwan in recent years to press its claim of sovereignty, which Taipei rejects. Taiwan is a potential flashpoint between China and the United States, which is the island's most important security partner. China opposes Washington's support for Taipei, which Beijing insists is part of its territory and has threatened to forcefully bring under its control. Tensions across the Taiwan Strait have escalated since Taiwanese President Lai Ching-te took office in May 2024. Starting from today, European travellers that are planning to visit Britain will be required to obtain an electronic permit prior to their journey. This measure is part of the United Kingdom government's initiative to enhance immigration security by conducting screenings of individuals before they enter the country, aligning with practices adopted by other nations. UK Border Force Chief Phil Douglas said the Electronic Travel Authorisation ETA scheme requires all visitors who do not need a visa to enter Britain to purchase a pre-travel authorisation online at a cost of £10, rising to £16 from 9th April.
It's incredibly easy, and I say this because I've actually sat with one of my friends who's an EU national while she downloaded the app and applied for and paid for an ETA. It took about 3 or 4 minutes, and the ETA actually came within 3 or 4 minutes as well, so it's an incredibly easy thing to use.
An ETA allows multiple visits to the UK up to 6 months over a 2-year period. Airlines, ferry and train companies will be responsible for verifying the ETA status of travellers before they board. The World Bank WB will allocate $2 billion through a loan to create jobs and promote the development of Paraguay. The president of the institution, Ajay Banga, said this funding aims to strengthen the development of micro, small businesses and infrastructure improvements. The International Finance Corporation, a branch of the World Bank, will also support private sector investment projects. Banga assured that the country has a strong macro economy and is ready to move forward to future steps. Paraguay ranks as the second country with the highest GDP growth in Latin America, with an estimated growth of 3.9% for 2025. Paraguayan Minister of Economy Carlos Hernandez Valdovinos assured that the executive's plan includes the construction of roads and rural pathways. Paraguay is self-sufficient in renewable energy produced by 3 hydroelectric dams, 2 of which are in partnership with Argentina and Brazil. The Trump administration has fired staff at U.S. health agencies, including the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention (CDC), Food and Drug Administration (FDA), and National Institutes of Health, as it embarked on its plan to cut 10,000 health jobs. The cuts are part of a broad play by President Donald Trump and billionaire ally Elon Musk to shrink staffing levels in federal departments and agencies. On Tuesday, employees were seen lining up outside the Department of Health and Human Services building in Washington, D.C. According to some reports, the line was due to added security at the building, and it was unknown if the employees had been laid off. A FDA employee said staff had to present their badges at the building entrance, and those who had been fired were given a ticket and told to return home. Other fired staff received emails on Tuesday morning that said their terminations did not reflect on their service, performance or conduct, and that they would be placed on administrative leave immediately. At the CDC, fired staff worked at the National Center for Environmental Health, Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration and National Center for Immunization and Respiratory Diseases. Officials at the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services were not immediately available for comment. American technology entrepreneur and billionaire Elon Musk has been recognized as the wealthiest individual globally for the year 2025, succeeding French luxury goods tycoon Bernard Arnault. This is based on Forbes' latest annual list released on Tuesday.
Musk's net worth is estimated at $342 billion. He became the richest person in the world for the first time in 2022, but lost the position in 2023. In 2024, Musk increased his net worth by $147 billion. The second position on the list was taken by Meta by Mark Zuckerberg. He managed to increase his net worth by $39 billion to $216 billion over the past year. Online retailer Amazon founder Jeff Bezos keeps the third position on the list, while Larry Ellison, co-founder of the software powerhouse Oracle, occupies the fourth position. Forbes data showed that the total number of billionaires has increased by 247 people and reached 3,028, surpassing the 3,000 milestone for the first time.
In sports, Nottingham Forest inch closer to qualify for Champions League spot. Stay with us. Kicking off our sports segment this afternoon, Real Madrid edged into the Copa del Rey final with a thrilling 4-4 draw against Real Sociedad after extra time on Tuesday, securing a 5-4 aggregate semi-final victory. Real Madrid, who have won the Spanish Cup only once in over a decade, will play either Barcelona or Atletico Madrid in a mouth-watering final in Seville next month.
Real Sociedad, trailing 1-0 from the first leg, took the lead through under Berenexia, but Endrick's fine chip pulled the 20-time winners level. A David Alaba own goal and Mikel Oyarzábal's deflected effort helped La Real open up a lead on the Spanish champions, but Madrid battled back with goals from Jude Bellingham and Aurelien Tchouameni. Oyarzábal grabbed his second in stoppage time to force extra time, but his side could not hold off Madrid until penalties, with Antonio Rudiger's header the final word. Atletico Madrid host Barcelona in the second leg of the other semi-final, with the teams level at 4-4 on aggregate.
Now, over in Germany, third-tier Arminia Bielefeld stunned holders Bayer Leverkusen 2-1 on Tuesday, coming from a goal down to reach the German Cup final for the first time in the club's history. Bielefeld, who have eliminated 4 Bundesliga teams in consecutive rounds in the competition, became the fourth third-tier side to reach the German Cup final.
Leverkusen, who had never lost a German Cup match under coach Xabi Alonso, were made to work hard before taking the lead in the 17th minute with Jonathan Tah's tap-in at the far post from a corner. Their joy only lasted 3 minutes, with Marius Worrell beating keeper Lukas Radecki with a low drive to draw the host level. Radecki pulled off a spectacular save in the 26th when he blocked Saren Renbazi's point-blank effort, but Bielefeld's comeback was complete on the stroke of half-time with a close-range volley from Maximilian Grosser. The hosts were relentless, keeping up the pressure and carving out several chances after the break, before Leverkusen's Patrick Schick hit the post with an 81st minute header. Leverkusen, who won the league and cup double without defeat last season, are in second place in Bundesliga, 6 points behind leaders Bayern Munich, with 7 league games remaining. VfB Stuttgart face RB Leipzig on Wednesday in the other semi-final.
In Premier League news, Bukayo Saka marked his return from a lengthy injury absence with a goal as Arsenal beat Fulham 2-1 on Tuesday to cut the gap on Premier League leaders Liverpool to 9 points. The return of Saka is a massive boost to Arsenal's faint hopes of chasing down Liverpool and a shot at becoming European champions for the first time.
Saka came off the bench to head in on his first appearance since 21st December after Mikel Merino's deflected effort had given Arsenal a first-half lead. However, victory came at a cost as key defender Gabriel Magalhaes limped off injured. Rodrigo Muniz pulled a goal back in stoppage time, but defeat is a blow to Fulham's ambitions of European football next season. The Cottagers remain in 8th, 3 points outside the top 5 finish that would almost certainly secure Champions League football next season. Arsenal's place in the top 5 is looking assured as they move 14 points clear of 6th place Newcastle. Arteta's men are on course to finish second for the 3rd consecutive season, given Liverpool's commanding lead.
Nottingham Forest moved a step closer to qualifying for the Champions League as Anthony Elanga's superb solo goal sealed a 1-0 win against Manchester United on Tuesday. Forest have completed their first league double over United since 1991-92.
Elanga returned to haunt his former club with a dazzling effort that took the winger over half the length of the pitch before he delivered a clinical finish. The 22-year-old Swede was sold by United for £15 million in 2023. Forest have been the beneficiaries of that mistake, and Elanga's stunning strike at the City ground helped Nuno Espirito Santos' side cement their grip on 3rd place. Sitting 8 points clear of 4th place Chelsea, Forest are within touching distance of reaching the Champions League for the first time since 1980-81. Just a year after battling to narrowly avoid relegation, Forest are enjoying an unexpected fairy tale season that also includes progressing to the FA Cup semi-finals for the first time in 34 years. Although his players were drained by Saturday's FA Cup quarter-final at Brighton, Nuno said Forest would adopt a no-excuses policy against United. Despite the absence of leading scorer Chris Wood and winger Callum Hudson-Odoi, Forest rose to Nuno's challenge.
All right, so that's it from us this afternoon. In our top story, death toll in Myanmar's earthquake exceed 2,700 lives. Do join us again tonight at 8:30 p.m. on TV1 and saluran Berita RTM, or you can stream us on RTM Click's website and mobile app. I'm Shuhaida Arifin. From river to the sea, Palestine will be free. Thank you for watching.